What's shaking, everybody? Ross Mandell is here today, Delray Beach, Florida, coming from Scott Woolley Studios. What a treat I have for you all today. I mean, I'm serious. I say this a lot. This is the author of Run Like Hell, Dr. Nadine Macaluso. Now, you might know her, will recognize her story from the famous movie The Wolf of Wall Street. Margot Robbie played Nadine. This is prior to her doctorship, her master's. I mean, she's incredibly well educated as well as stunning gorgeous. And it so happens that I met this young lady at the beginning of that journey through, you could say ups and downs, you could say hell. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to dissect it. I want you to meet Nadine, with Dr. Nay, as she likes to say.
Dr. Nay is perfect.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me today.
The pleasure is truly mine. I want you to know.
Thank you.
Now, the last time I saw Nadine was in New York City in, I think, 1991, maybe.
Probably, yeah.
And I was newly sober.
Good for you.
I was seeing a woman that I was sort of dating, seeing, so on and off for years. Her name was Ginger Sassone. I just found out, unfortunately, that she's passed recently.
Yes.
I loved her. I loved her very much. She was truly a great person.
Great person.
A really generous, loving type person. Special lady. And she called me one day in my office and said, Ross, listen, I set it up. You're going to meet this guy, Jordan, from Stratton. I know you don't want to meet him. But I really think it's a good thing, and I'm bringing a friend. She's a lingerie model, and she's from, I think, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn.
Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, that's right.
And I said, very cool. I really was not into it, but all right, that's what I do. I say very cool. I was in the office. I had my broker hat on, and I was about 34 years old at the time.
Okay.
And I come down from my office. I was upstairs in Midtown Manhattan. Opened the door to the limo. Mr. Levy was the limo driver.
Okay.
Mr. Levy. I'm going to come up with the name of that place. And I was stunned. I was speechless. The best-looking woman that I had ever seen.
Aww.
Ever.
That is
And people still talk about me like I have a woman problem. I had a woman problem. Today, of course, I have an ex-wife and two daughters that remind me,
Right.
shut up,
Right.
mind myself.
Right.
But she was stunning. I was told she was on a Diet Pepsi commercial.
Miller Lite.
A Miller Lite commercial,
Yes.
which was a national commercial. I got in the car, and Ginger was like, hey, it's me. I'm here. And she was a pretty good-looking
She
brunette,
was. Yeah, beautiful lady.
And we went across town. It was on 2nd Avenue, I believe, 78th Street. I've told this story before, and I can't think of the name. And it's going to come to me, and you're going to get it.
Okay.
And Jordan was sitting outside.
That's right.
At the table. And, of course, once Nadine, myself, and Ginger sat down, Jordan's entire attention was zoomed right in to Nadine. How are you today?
I'm good. It's so wild to me that you were there.
I was at the beginning of this journey.
That's crazy because he asked Ginger to take me out and then he would just meet us at dinner, right? And I thought that was so strange. I was like, what is he coming for? She said, what do you care? I said, I don't care. I just think it's strange. He's married. I had no idea it was a setup.
Right, it was a setup.
It was a setup.
It was a setup.
I didn't know that.
She was very fond of Jordan.
Yes, she was.
And Jordan protected her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, right? She's not mentioned in the book. She's not mentioned in the movie.
Yeah.
And I haven't spoken to Jordan since that day.
Oh, wow.
Correct?
Yeah.
However, Danny was sitting in this chair recently.
Oh, okay.
The first time ever he spoke, ever since the movie was made.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's never spoken publicly.
Okay.
He spent hours with me. We did 2 full podcasts.
I'm sure.
He was having a nervous breakdown. He was sweating, and he was very...
yeah, that's a lot to process in one sitting.
It was like he was so scared that it was like an aha thing, like was coming to get him. He's been living with this terrible thing over his head. He's unwell.
I'm sure.
Danny, I'm sorry, bro, but I love you, dude. I know Danny. I went to Lawrence High School.
Oh, with him.
With Steve Madden.
Oh, yeah, Steve.
Danny was there. He transferred to Woodbury Academy, but I know Danny since a little kid.
Okay.
Middle school and all
wow.
that. Geordie Shammer.
Oh, you go way back.
Brian Frank. We're all class of 75, Lawrence High School.
Okay, that's
all these guys found the stock market because they heard I was in the stock market. I was making millions. You know, we
crazy
live in a
small
monkey see,
world.
monkey do kind of world. But so this is your day and your story. So she's the author of Run Like Hell. All right. So trying to be a good guy, trying to understand who is sitting in my studio. I was advised by my business partner, Stephanie, my ex-wife.
Okay.
My only ex-wife, my
Yes.
own wife.
Yeah.
And mother of my children, that I should familiarize myself with this book. And typically I will scan through a book. I'm an avid reader.
Oh, okay.
I haven't been my whole life. It's
Yeah.
really been a gift to me.
Yeah, me too.
And I got hooked in,
To the book.
shockingly. And
You
I
were
felt
surprised.
like you were talking to me and really talking to women about me,
Yes.
but also talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you use words like trauma, bond,
That's right.
and hold on, there was a word survivor.
Surthriver.
Surthrivers.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It's
Did
a
you
good.
coin that?
You know what? I found it in an old academic book from a long time ago.
Spell it.
Surthriver.
Surthriver.
Yeah.
Not only are you surviving, you're thriving.
Yes. Yes.
And you offer that sort of program or advice. You can actually help women
Yes, I
that
can.
have suffered
Yes.
through these sort of, I guess you call them abusive relationships.
Yeah, toxic, abusive relationships where one person really has the power and abuses that power, and they want power and control over their partner.
So it got me so into thinking.
Yeah.
I was laying in my bed last night reading this, watching the national championship football game,
Yes.
and I entirely missed the second half of the game because I was thinking. It triggered a lot of stuff for me.
Yeah.
Primarily that what you're really saying, the American dream, the American way, you're a young woman, you find a husband,
Correct.
you form a family, and you have children. This whole thing with two parents working,
Yeah.
that was coined by a government that was responsible for huge inflation and overtaxing the population, all these different things. If you
Yeah.
study history.
Okay.
If you go back to the beginning of the United States, and men provided and
Right.
women,
Stayed home.
men hunted and women nested.
Yeah.
Okay, and so a relationship would develop just in the normalcy of life, with the man having sort of the financial power
Correct.
and the woman sort of getting allowance. And when I grew up, my dad, would go to work, and the money would go to a bank account, a shared account, and my mom would give him an allowance.
Huh. She was progressive.
She was a beast. But she was really tough. If she would have given me one hug, I never would have been successful. That's what they said about me on Wall Street. If
Aw.
your mother would have just hugged you once. My mother never hugged me my whole life.
I'm sorry.
Never kissed me my whole life. I'm just saying.
Aw.
But so this relationships that are really common, even I think in other parts of the world.
Oh, yeah. It's not just in America, sure.
So man has some power, and the woman that can make babies. I feel like in modern America that gives the women some power. Plus the laws, divorce laws, 50-50,
Yes.
free property.
Yes, yes.
But we're talking now about emotional. We're talking now about psychological.
That's
we're
right.
talking about. We're not necessarily talking about physical
Correct.
violence,
Correct.
but it's
They can include it, but it's
right.
But my book is more about emotional, psychological.
Right. I mean, I've had many people say, "You could beat me to hell. I don't care."
right.
But emotionally, I've been tortured personally.
Right.
I know I've survived all kinds of physical things, but emotional pain
is terrible. Yeah.
so.
It is.
So, what'd you think of Margot Robbie?
Oh, she was great.
She's a
great.
great actress.
She's a great actress. I met her. I was actually taking my daughter to college, and I think one of Martin Scorsese's producers or right hand called me up and said, we hear you don't want to put your name in the movie. And I said, why would I? I make no money. It's not my narrative. It's not, I don't contribute creatively at all. So I'm like, no. I said, but I'm not going to sue you. Don't worry. And so she said, okay. And I said, but I am a mother and I do care about how this affects my children. And so she said, well, Margot would love to get your accent.
Love to get your
accent. My Brooklyn accent. I said,
yeah.
okay. I said, you know what? She said, they'll fly to you. I said, no, I'm flying into New York anyway, take my daughter to school. So I dropped my daughter off at college.
Where'd you go?
Muhlenberg in Pennsylvania.
Very nice.
Yeah. And then I went into the city and met Margot. She was 22 with a speech therapist and a recorder. And they recorded this ridiculous accent.
Now, that night that we met at dinner,
yeah,
at the beginning of this whole thing,
right?
Because I remember him. He invited us to the Hamptons.
Oh, sure.
The following week.
Okay.
And I was really, I was freaking out because I was newly sober.
Right.
And all these guys I knew from growing up, and everybody was doing drugs and this and that, and I was torn. I was so torn, and I had spent a lot of time with Ginger in the Hamptons.
Okay.
Doing bad things.
Right.
Right. Oh boy,
So you understand that whole lifestyle.
That was my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I lived that life long before him, and
right.
was much worse than him, believe it or not. But then I got lucky. I healed. I hit a bottom
great.
In 1990. My run went since I was 16.
That's a long time.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
And I still pay the price. Even it's karma. Like the things I was accused of doing never even happened. But people that know me say it's karma. And
that's tough.
I believe that too. I'm very spiritual today and all these different things. But so now, Margot Robbie.
Yes.
I mean, she's stunning.
Yes, she's very gorgeous.
But I remember seeing you, and I remember people asked me because I told the story about meeting you and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't particularly like Jordan. Huh. I'm going to just tell you straight up. I just didn't particularly like him.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't think he's very likable. I respect him.
Right.
Not for,
for his own. Yeah, for his own.
But he has accomplished some great things. He's overcome a lot.
He has.
He has a zest.
He certainly does.
A vitality.
He does.
Like as a chip on the shoulder, he's trying to prove something that
they
call it the Napoleon complex. But I'm not going to get into these sort of psychological terms with you because I'll get crushed. You're apparently a ninja in this field.
I am.
And I give you so much respect and credit.
Thank you.
I'm in awe of it. I really am.
Thank you.
Because I think in the movie, they don't really portray too much about you.
Correct.
It's about sort of his life
in
the movie and how it, how you're affected by it, right?
Right. Right.
And I don't think they made you look bad.
No.
The only thing that, got me was like that famous clip when they were at dinner. We're not going to be friends.
Right.
I mean, Danny has told us on camera so many of the things that were true and not true, but between a man and a woman.
Yes.
And then you come out of the room and you're naked.
Yes.
And that was a powerful scene.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a man.
Yeah, well, we had a real love affair.
No question.
Yeah,
no
we
question.
were madly in love. Yeah, we fell madly in love.
Love, lust,
whatever we want to call it, infatuation.
Right.
Yeah,
right. And you use really descriptive language in the book. I mean, it's not all toxic.
No, because in the beginning, right, that's where we talk about the love bombing and picking me up in a limo, giving me $15,000 in cash just for the hell of it, having his driver show up with a Bulgari watch,
I've done all these things.
Yeah, you're right. And so, and he's so romantic and charming and handsome and very bright, as and so it felt
You were
great.
a young woman.
I was 23. I was like,
what?
this is awesome.
Exactly.
And so we really did fall madly in love. And in the beginning of a trauma bond, there is all that love bombing, and it's quick.
Now, hold on. Let's slow down now.
Yeah.
We use love bombing.
Yes.
I've been accused of that.
Have you done that?
You have me re-examining everything.
So
I don't do it on purpose, but it's just yes. But if you wanted to just look at my behavior,
Yeah.
you could make that case. I'm not going to say no.
Yeah. Okay.
But I really feel it. It's not like I'm acting. I'm not like I'm lying or saying things to manipulate you.
Right.
I'm expressing how I feel. Like I'm sort of in this relationship too.
Yeah.
And I have other issues or deficiencies or something. I don't know exactly yet. I have to
But
finish the book.
But the love bombing too is
Explain to the audience what that means.
so really it's like so much adoration and admiration so quick,
Right.
and it's too intense. It's here's the thing: if it feels too good to be true, it probably is, because nobody's your soulmate in 2 weeks.
Right. I love that.
They're just not. But in love bombing, that
Nobody
happened.
is your soulmate in 2 weeks.
No.
But I just, I know people. It's like, I'm in the program and I can't break anonymity, but they talk it. We don't date, we don't go out, we hold people hostage. We go out for coffee after a meeting, and next thing you know, we're in bed for 2 weeks. We don't leave the house, and we're in love
Right.
and with soulmates and all that.
Yeah, that
And
doesn't happen.
That's love bombing.
That's love bombing. Right. And a lot of people do use it as a manipulation tactic to suck the person in, because a lot of times the person is wearing this Romeo mask. But they know that behind the mask, they're a lot darker than they're showing
Well, there are
us.
men that will, I guess, love bomb to some extent because they want to get you in bed.
Yeah.
We're brought up like this. I don't know if it's just particularly a guy thing, but everybody.
Right.
A man wants to make love, to have sex,
Yes.
be with a woman
Yes.
like that, and men will say and do anything, literally. Wars have been the Iliad and the Odyssey.
That's
Homer,
right. That's right.
The war for
Helen Troy,
right,
yes.
correct. Helen, the most beautiful woman in the world.
Yes.
I've said to Stephanie, she's Helen. But I really believe that, just so you know. It's not like I'm just saying that.
Thank you.
And you were Helen. I mean, I was there. I was speechless. I could talk to a fire hydrant for 6 hours.
You're so
John
funny.
will attest to that. So, so love bombing is sort of a man laying it on. Laying it
Yes.
out. I love you. You're so beautiful. I think about you. Sending you flowers.
Yeah, constant calling, constant texting.
Right. Not everybody has big money, so there's other
Right,
things. Today
there's
we have the texting and
That's right. That's
and
right.
stalking and
That's right. That's right. And then so, like my relationship, it was too much too soon. 6 months we were engaged. 6 months later we were married.
Okay. So let's love trauma. Is that what you call it? A trauma bond.
Trauma bond. Yes.
This word, I've never heard this before, so I don't know if it's something
It's been around,
Right.
but I'm bringing it more, I think, into the
you
zeitgeist.
get relevant.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Talk about a trauma.
Yeah,
bond.
so with trauma bonds, it's basically any toxic, dysfunctional relationship between two emotionally attached people.
Well, this is great stuff.
Yeah.
Say that again slowly.
So it's a toxic, dysfunctional connection
Right.
between two emotionally attached people.
Okay.
But it can be between a boss and employee.
Correct.
It can be between friends. I write about it between lovers.
You say that in the book specifically.
Yeah, I write, and in the trauma bond, one of the people, usually the perpetrator, the pathological individual, as I call them, wants power and control over their lover.
Now I get that. And I just want to you instigated a thought.
Okay.
So that could apply to a young woman that's with a guy, rich guy, let's just say, young, old, doesn't matter, rich guy, and she might not necessarily love him or even be that attracted to him,
Mm-hmm.
but she was interested in his money, his lifestyle, get that ring, get that get that settlement, right?
Yeah, sure.
Works two ways.
It
Correct?
can go both ways.
Right, but you're referring to your experience. You're an
Yeah.
expert on your experience.
Yeah, and also that person that maybe wants the lifestyle, it's really about one person has to want to be dominant. Like my ex was very dominant over me.
Even though you were so gorgeous and men were hitting on you everywhere you went, let's be honest, you're a gorgeous woman.
Yeah.
I often look at, my wife, gorgeous woman, and even my daughters, they 24 and 21, they're
Must be
gorgeous
love,
women.
yeah.
They're desired by they walk into a room and the heads
Right.
turn. You've had that since you're young.
Yeah.
Since you're a kid, you've
Since
been
I'm very
beautiful,
young,
right? You're
yes.
a beautiful woman. I mean, it doesn't,
Yes.
And so you have a degree of power too.
Yeah, I just don't want to use my power. See, a person like this, let's say the pathological person, the way I say it is they'll use you, they'll harm you, they'll betray you, they'll exploit you to get
It could go both ways, though. The woman could be doing this to the
the
man.
woman could be doing it too.
I just want to make sure I
to
understand.
get their needs met for money, power, pleasure, and status.
Money,
Power, pleasure, and status.
Is there anything else, people? I mean,
So that's what happens.
those are the things that I've been craving my whole life.
Well, there's a lot more to life, though. Right?
No, I'm joking. But yes.
so that's what happens. And then you don't know that. Like when I went into my relationship, of course, was fun, the money and the excess and the extravagant lifestyle. Yeah, but I really also just loved him, and I didn't want to have power and control over him. I didn't need to lie to him. I didn't need to manipulate him. Right. And that's where it starts.
You weren't cheating on him?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. What? There's no reason to.
But women do it. I don't know how to explain to you.
Yeah.
Women do it. All my life, I've met women. I say, sometimes I didn't find out until after. You married?
Right.
Like what? I mean.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, but my husband. It's a story.
I was young and in love.
There's a pathological aspect. It could be male, woman.
That's right.
Right.
It can be,
but
it's a pathological person.
I get it.
That
I get that.
manipulates, lies.
Yeah.
Like could just lie right
For
to
money,
your face.
power, status.
And pleasure.
Pleasure's a big one.
Pleasure's a big one.
Yeah. Wow. It's so great. You're so educated.
It's fun.
This is what you learn at school?
No,
I taught
this to myself.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to get to that. I want to talk to you. I want to like sort of unpack your story because I was on social media. This is my new thing now because from the virality of the stock market, I'm going to the virality of social media. My intention is to pack the two together.
Yes.
There's been no social media brought to the stock market. I'm trying to create that model.
Okay.
But I'm studying. According to my Apple iPhone, it tells me every week how many hours I spend on the phone. 14 hours this past week. I got like 30,000 new followers. I'm like, everything's organic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm studying. So one day I'm looking at my phone, and I see Nadine Macaluso. And is it Barnes & Noble? Right here on Military Trail.
Okay.
Which is like my Barnes & Noble. I call that my Barnes & Noble. I've been going there for years. My kids were little. We'd go there, and they'd sit around and read and all these different things, And I was tempted to just get in the car and drive over because I was there the night you met. Ciao Bella. It's called Ciao Bella.
Ciao Bella. Okay, yeah.
Ciao Bella.
Yes, okay.
78th and 2nd.
Okay.
It's been killing the whole conversation.
Good, I'm
Part
glad.
of my brain was still working.
I'm glad you
still got it.
You still got it.
And then we were sitting outside. He had the best table. And and he has that thing with the eyes,
Mm-hmm.
I call it, the eyeball thing with the...
Yeah, his dad had that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, but I find most people that are like that extremely, their brains are really working. Mm-hmm. Usually it's ADHD or OCD or whatever.
Yeah.
But so I give him all that, and I also, as a man, you're a beautiful woman. You're 22, 23. You're going to make beautiful children. I'm sure your children are beautiful.
They are.
You have boys, girls?
We have a boy and a girl. My daughter's a therapist, too.
Not shocked. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
My daughter also majored in psychology.
Oh,
the young
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Finished University of Florida. It's a good
Oh,
school,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
In 3 years.
Yeah.
In 3 years.
Wow, smart girl.
And she just applied to law schools.
Good for her.
So she'll be going to law school.
Good for her.
Just when I thought I was done.
Yeah.
No
end.
Right. No end. Not with daughters especially. No. But there's nothing like a love that a daughter brings. Mm-hmm. For a father-daughter, it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to explain it. But now, where was I?
So you went to the Barnes & Noble.
Oh, so I was going to go to the Barnes & Noble to see you and talk to you. And I was remembering that night with Ginger, and I wanted to call her for so many years, and I feel so sad right now because I know she would have reached out to me.
She would have, of course.
She always did.
Yes.
But we had a little private, like, kind of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She
It was
always
it's on
did.
for years.
Yeah. Oh, so you were going to maybe come to my book signing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to come over because
Yes.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
I love you for that. I'm love bombing now, right? But I have a great respect and
Okay.
admiration because it's very easy sort of have this like, moment in the sun
Mm-hmm.
and then go quietly into that good night.
Mm-hmm.
And, this is life. This is my life. This is your life.
Yeah.
This is not a rehearsal.
No.
This is not let's all right. Well, let's do it again tomorrow.
No, this is like Cher said it. This ain't a dress rehearsal.
This is it.
Right.
And I want to live life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to enjoy. I want to feel. I want to experience.
Yeah.
And I've had that since I'm a little kid.
Yeah.
And it's like I look at my life I'm in a movie theater by myself on the big screen. I'm looking up like, what do I think of that guy? Right now, that guy has Nadine, who is every bit as gorgeous as Margot Robbie. I tell you that. And I tell people that. She's no better than you. You were, at some point, there's no better. There's only different.
That's right.
There's no better.
There we go. There we go.
That's how I talk with my closest friends. She's a 10. Yeah. Color hair. What's her shape? That's how the men are. We're discussing it at a very primal
level,
yeah,
yes.
It's incredibly. It doesn't go away. But we just, some of us, at least we know our age and, where we are in life, et cetera. But, you just don't get better. So I wanted to go and I wanted to just introduce myself.
Yes, you should have come.
I should have come, but this is even better.
Yeah, this is great.
It's great. I'm just so enthralled with God because everything happens for a reason.
That's
we
true.
live in God's world.
That's
I've learned
true.
that. I learned it the hard way.
Yeah.
It used to be my world.
Right.
I got it.
Yeah.
And your story was so incredible. This movie became it's a cult classic.
It's
They're
a cult.
talking to
Yeah.
me now about
Yeah.
doing number 2. So Joel Gottler, who made it all happen for Jordan, represents
Yes.
me. He's
Yes.
not my friend.
Yeah, he's a nice man.
He's a special guy at Beverly Hills, and I'm considering it. I was actually on the phone with Netflix this morning.
Oh, good for you.
At 7 a.m. What a
Yeah.
crazy thing. And but it's not easy to come out of a relationship
Right.
with a guy that's millions of dollars, mansions, the best restaurants, the best cars, the best jewelry,
Yes.
access to the biggest, the best, the most.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
It was so freeing.
Well, that's what in the book, you talk about you knew he couldn't come after you because he was under house arrest.
That's right. Yeah.
So I was wondering if you were going to say this
Yeah.
as I asked you the question.
Of course. Yeah.
You felt trapped.
I felt trapped, and also the money was a trap.
Of course.
All those things are trappings because, they don't make you happy, as we know. Can they be fun? Of course.
If you're with the right person,
If
they
you're
can make
with
you happy.
yeah, but they're not really
Right.
what life's about. And so when he got the ankle bracelet on, I knew he was the government's problem now, and I knew I was safe because it was so obvious that he was wrong and he was bad, and I was okay because I didn't know if I left him, if he tried to take the kids from me or say I was a drug addict. I mean, who knows?
He would try those things.
So-
because he was that crazy.
So, but then he couldn't do that because he had his own shit to deal with.
You have now
And-
as your allies, United States government.
And so now I'm like, I'm out.
So you felt trapped,
Yes.
threatened.
Yes.
Boy, so in the movie, he goes crazy.
Yeah.
And he tries to grab one of the kids and
Yes.
he's in the car and
Yes.
he's going crazy. The housekeeper's going crazy and all
Yes.
these different things.
Yes.
Did that happen?
That did happen.
So you had events like that?
Yeah. Yes, that did happen.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. But I jumped in the car and saved her.
No, I understand that.
And she's now a therapist. But yeah, no, that did happen. And that was one of my last straw, like I write about in the book. Like, we all have last straw moments.
Yeah.
And that was because I was trying to help him get sober. Because I had said to him, different than the movie, I had said to him, I'm not going to sit here and watch you kill yourself. Like all these people that just kiss your ass and they only want your money.
Exactly right.
And I said, you have to go to rehab or I'm leaving you. And that's when he went crazy and that whole scene ensued. But then he did get sober. So that was
There's
good.
a difference between being clean
Yes.
and sober.
Yes.
I told you about that yesterday.
Yeah, he stopped doing drugs. And then I think it was maybe a year later, or I forgot, maybe 10 months later when he got arrested. And I just was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I wanted my kids to have a relatively healthy upbringing.
But he's the father of your kids.
Yeah, and he's a great father.
And that's one of the
And he's a very good
that's another
father.
one of the trappings.
Yeah, and he's a good one, and they're
And
very
so that
close
doesn't mean
with him.
you can't have a life. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that's a conundrum, really.
It is, but I knew he had all of his own stuff to unwind himself out
Right.
of, and so then about a year and a half later, I took the kids and moved to California,
Right.
and we
to
started,
California.
and we started a whole new life.
I understand.
Yeah.
And the kids did not communicate with him for a while?
Well, they didn't communicate with him for a while because
They were still young.
They were still young, yeah. And before he went to jail, he put himself in jail because he took a helicopter to Atlantic City with the ankle bracelet. So
That I didn't hear. That's a good one.
That's
I had an ankle bracelet on for 2 years.
So he did that, and so that's what allowed me to move to California because Dominic Barbara was my attorney at the time. Another crazy.
From Long Island, yeah, of course.
And he said to the judge, "Hey, her house is getting taken." He put himself back in jail, and the judge was like, "Tell her to go," and so I could go. And then, once he did follow us out there, and he always had access to the kids, and
Right.
I had him over for all the holidays. Then he went to jail. Got sentenced.
Oh, I didn't know that part. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't
Okay.
get sentenced for 7 years, maybe.
Yeah, he was working for the government. He wore a wire. He did a lot of things.
But I always felt like no matter what happened between the two of us, that's the father. That's the father of my children. And as long as he's nice to me and he's nice to them. And you have to remember, I don't know if this happened for you, but there was a lot of humility. He became much more humble.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I say this to I counsel a lot of men now.
Okay.
Usually they're men that are pretty successful. They find me.
Yeah.
And I say, listen, if you read any of the Bibles, if you believe in any of the scripture at all, God always favors the most humble man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether it was Noah or Moses or Jesus.
Yes,
I mean,
So what?
Yeah. That's a common thread in all
Yes.
scripture.
That's right.
Hindu,
Yeah.
Taoism.
What's an important part of being human?
If you look at the word human, unpack that, H-U-M,
Right.
H-U-M, humble.
Yeah, there you go.
human.
Same prefix.
And I struggle with humility.
Yeah.
When I got sober, I used to, say I pray. My name is Roy. I pray for humility, but I don't even know what I used the words,
Yeah.
but in my heart, I didn't even know what the fuck I was doing, asking
Right.
for.
Right.
And God shows you. God is a good teacher,
Yeah.
if you're lucky, if you're
Yeah,
blessed.
If you're blessed,
You're
right.
blessed.
Right. Yeah.
So you now, when you left, right?
Yes.
Kids, right? Were there financial issues at that time?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, the government, we took, the bail was $10 million.
Right.
So we gave up all my homes. I drove my jewelry to the courthouse. and
Really? They
gave
took jewelry too?
They took $1 million worth of jewelry, yep.
Yeah.
And I was happy to give it up.
Really?
You know why? Because it was blood money. And
Wow.
what was I going to do with that?
I don't know you well enough so I can.
Yeah,
I don't
it just-
judge. I just listen.
It wasn't for me anymore. I had started a little maternity company, and I had a store and a catalog and a website. So I had my own little business, and I just knew what that money brought to me, and I wanted nothing to do with it. So I had like $100,000 or something. Then I made money from my business, and then about a year and a half later, I met my current husband.
But you're supporting these kids in a
Yeah.
new world, right? New life, right?
Yeah.
You don't really have too many relationships out there at that time, did you?
No. I mean, you mean like friends?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I had a
friends,
lot of good
boyfriends.
friends.
I mean,
Had a lot of good friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
My
so
family was there. I dated. And then when I met my current husband, he was in the garment business as well. And he said, just move to California.
Is this Macaluso?
Yeah, this Macaluso.
Okay, Italian boy.
Yeah, 100% Sicilian.
I get it.
And then he said, move to California. And we did.
That's really nice. You're married 25 years.
Yeah.
That's really nice. How does Jordan interact with
Great.
him?
They get along really well.
Right. That's good. It's
Yeah,
very
I think he
important.
thanks John in his book. In the back of his book. Yeah, they get
Maybe.
along well.
I don't remember. But yeah.
Yeah, they
well,
get along very well.
John is, in his children's life. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? So it's very, very important.
Yeah.
Wow. So it's a great story. But you love Jordan. You really love that girl I met.
Yeah,
She
really
loved him.
Yes.
Not
yes.
just, I forget the words, but you had this bond, I guess, a trauma
Yeah,
bond.
We did.
But you also had love and passionate love. And I
That's
think there
right.
was a real love at some point,
Of
right?
course. Yes. Yes.
And I think he really loved you for sure.
Yeah, he was just.
Obsessed with you almost,
Yeah.
He wanted you physically.
Yeah,
in the movie, he's like has sex with her at the end, and she's like, "This is the last time."
That's right.
And that was real to me. That was one of the most real moments in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, give me
Right.
your best.
This is
but
it.
This is it.
This is it.
I get that. Like I truly understand that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get too much about me. It's about you. And so this is like just a sort of period of your life that's been sort of encapsulated
Right.
and broadcasted
Yeah.
in a very glamorous fashion, by the way.
Yes.
Leo
Yes.
DiCaprio, Margot Robbie. This was the role that made her.
It did. It made her
Famous.
famous. It did.
I mean,
yeah.
that to me was the whole movie. She's like, and he
Yeah.
was great. Leo was great.
He was great.
And Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
What? Danny was so offended that they brought Jonah Hill in. They're supposed to bring Mark Wahlberg in, supposedly.
Oh, okay.
He was cast originally, and Danny approved. I don't know if they asked him or not, but that's what he said. And then Jonah Hill said, "I'll come." He was a fat, weird kid, nerd kid who had done some of these movies, and he said, "I'll do it for $60,000."
Right.
That's the
I
basic
heard
wage,
that.
whatever.
I heard that. Yeah.
And Jonah Hill he was hysterical,
He was so good in it.
so crazy.
Yeah, they
I know
did
that
know it
Danny
was-
was not like that.
Yeah.
Danny was more of a cool guy.
Yeah, Danny wasn't quite. Well, Jonah Hill's a mix of two. He's a mix of Danny and Elliot.
Yeah,
Right.
I get that.
Right.
I knew Elliot too.
Yeah, so he's a mix of the two of them. Yeah, no, listen, the movie, I got to go to a private screening at Paramount with my husband, and I was like, okay, here we go. Let's see what this is like. And then we left there, and I was like, you know what? It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that you were expecting it to be.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Like,
Martin
damning.
Scorsese doesn't love women. I mean, when you think of what he did with Sharon Stone
Yeah.
and Karen in Goodfellas, it could have gone either way.
But you weren't that person.
No, I wasn't. So it
You
went
weren't
okay.
that person.
Right.
I met you that night, and you were just, I just remember thinking, your out of packaging is so impressive to me. And I was already rich and all these different things, and
Right.
now I'm changing my life. And
Yeah.
I felt he was an honest broker. I know that what this guy was doing was wrong.
Right.
But I remember thinking you were just a nice girl.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
weren't like. I don't always feel that way about people.
Right.
You gave me a very nice impression. Your
Oh,
aura
thank you.
was nice, and
Yeah.
I see your aura now.
Yeah.
I'm very much about energy and all that kind of stuff. I believe everybody has a gift,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my gift. I'm good
Yeah.
with people.
Be able to,
And,
read people.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just like a nice, sweet young girl.
Yeah, but you're super hot. You're from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and the guys are,
Bay Ridge
aggressive.
was fun. Yeah.
Brooklyn guys, New York boys are aggressive.
They're aggressive, and that's what I write about in my book,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
all about aggressive guys.
The most aggressive.
The most aggressive, yeah.
And then there were certain women, empathetic type women, that feed off that.
Yeah.
What's the word? Codependent. I met that. I was with one of the women that, was in my life.
Yeah.
When we were young. This was like a soulmate. She passed away.
Sorry.
Codependent No More came out. There was a book called
Oh,
Codependent
yeah. It was
No
a big,
More.
it was
Very
a
famous.
big book.
Yeah.
Big book,
And,
yeah.
And I remember, all kinds of women So I'm very codependent.
Right. I know.
Like
I know.
It-
It was an. We don't use that term that much anymore. I don't, because I think it blames the victim,
it does.
and I don't agree with that.
It
Like,
does.
I
Right.
know I'm not responsible for his addiction and his rage, but I was like, oh my God, I'm codependent. I got to figure myself out. I'm enabling him. I wasn't enabling
You're an
him.
enabler. They always put it on. the
I
other
was
person.
surviving it.
Well,
Yeah.
thriving.
So now I'm thriving.
love
But
that.
yeah, but yeah, I am an agreeable, very empathetic, hence why I'm a therapist, right?
Are you empathetic?
Oh my gosh, yes. I
You
love
have that
being
big heart?
empathy. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just asking. I don't know.
Yeah, well, because you couldn't be a therapist if you're not empathetic, because for people to grow and heal, they have to feel like you feel them, like you get them.
Love that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this woman I told about, Michelle, she was an MSW.
Yeah, okay. So she was
Big,
there.
the biggest on Long Island marriage therapist.
Yeah.
She was married to Van Toffler, basically
Okay.
one of the creators of MTV and all that stuff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a great deal of respect. So my youngest daughter, wanted to study. She studied psychology, majored in psychology,
Yeah.
and I was like trying to talk her out of it, but I see now she's very empathetic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It's
Yeah.
like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And everyone comes to with their problems.
With the problems, right. Now I just get paid for it.
Right, but I said get a law degree, because a lot of psych she's a do-gooder and she wants to help people and all these things.
Yeah.
Which I love, and that's my job now.
Right.
But I wanted to have some of the finer things in life and
Yeah.
experience what
Yeah.
it's like to be upscale and all these good things.
Tell her to be a divorce attorney. We
Well,
need some good ones.
Yeah. There's
We need empathetic good ones.
such a dirty business.
Oh, forget it.
Oh, it's so bad. I have a friend going through it now. It's what a mistake. They're gonna make all the money, and
They make all the money and they
it's
prey on
so
people.
crazy.
I know.
These are bad people, and I hate to say that. Listen, I'm sorry, guys, but you're not all bad.
No,
Not
of
all
course.
brokers are bad.
That's right, of
There's
course.
some bad guys, in
But
every genre, every industry, in every arena. There's good, bad, and ugly. I always
That's right.
say that.
That's
one
right.
of my things.
That's right.
And you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And this guys, they talk to you, and you're like, all right, I got a good guy.
Right.
I thought about my criminal attorney, and he sold me out. He sold me out to the government to protect someone else. They had something on him. It's just the way the world is. I was very naive, even though I was a worldly guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I let somebody
yeah.
else represent me.
That's right.
Crazy.
That's right.
So run like hell. Let's talk about narcissists. Was
Yes.
Jordan a narcissist?
Yes.
He was. Tell us about that. I want our audience to
Because he's grandiose. He's
grandiosity.
Yeah, he's very charming. I think he's entitled.
He has
right.
a sense of entitlement.
His sense of entitlement. And
Even though he was born raised in Queens,
Yeah.
humble parents, really.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, he does. And there's covert and overt. He's definitely more an obvious, grandiose, overt narcissist. And he goes big or goes home. And
What does that mean?
just like he wrote a book in jail and got a major movie made, right?
Right.
He thinks very big, and that's just the way he thinks about things. And
Joel Gottlieb told me that he was bust, dead broke. He gave $300,000 to a friend
yeah,
who stole the money,
yeah.
who just used the money.
Yeah, no, but he's a very hard worker too.
Oh,
I mean,
an animal.
yeah,
An animal.
So, and I mean, but there is that entitlement and exploitativeness, right? Exploiting
See,
people.
I think entitled. So baby, look at this house you got.
right.
Look at that ring.
Yes, that's
Look at that American Express bill.
right.
You owe me.
Right.
Without saying the words.
Yes, that's it.
That's my behavior.
Yes, exactly. That's what it is.
I want you now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's entitlement.
like
You
that.
feel like you can get whatever you want whenever you want. You're owed it.
Right. Instead of loving. I see where there's a difference. I'm the guy, and I'm probably guilty of all these things.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Steffi's gonna kill me.
Well, listen, also, when narcissists can be very selfish. It's all about them and what they need.
I
Instead of
Right.
well, I had needs too. Or If
They're
I want
giving you the American Express card, I'm satisfying your needs.
exactly, but it doesn't.
Look
'Cause
at
we
this
have
house. Go
emotional
take a
needs.
bath in your Roman bath.
That's right. And also boundaries.
There are
They
no boundaries.
hate boundaries.
What does that mean?
There are no boundaries.
I don't believe in boundaries.
I'm sure not.
Before we're done,
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to get married right away. I wanted to wait. And he was like, if you don't marry me, I'm not going to date you.
What?
Yep.
This is news?
Yeah. And then
You didn't want to get married.
I didn't want to get married.
Were you not attracted to him?
No, I was madly in love with him, but my parents had gotten divorced when I was 6. And I had some arbitrary number in my brain of 30 that I didn't want it to wait till I was 30.
That's not arbitrary.
Yeah. And he was like, no, if you don't marry me, if I'm not going to date you, if you don't have kids right away, I'm not going to marry you.
I'm shocked. I was the other way. What?
Yeah, so that's the high pressure sales tactics, the domination, the threatening, the
he really
power and
wanted to own you.
control. He wanted
Right.
to own me.
This is a new thing for me. So I'm in prison, and the guys talk about these kind of things, and they're like, yeah, put a baby in her.
Oh, that was it.
That's how they talk.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
No, I mean, that's
She's
what
really
it was.
hot. She's really put a baby in her.
Right.
And I'm like thinking to myself, bro,
Yeah,
that's a big thing.
That's a big
I want
thing.
just some woman to have my baby. Now I'm stuck with her my whole life.
well, and also,
I didn't have a kid till I was 42
Oh, that was older, yeah.
and 46. I never got engaged in my life.
Oh.
The reason I got married was because she was living with me, 16-year difference, and I loved her parents, and they were Italian, Zinana lived upstairs, you know what I mean? Nanny.
Yes.
They had a 3-family house in the Bronx. I married a Bronx girl.
Yeah.
And I had enough of you Brooklyn girls.
Wait, but think about it. When to have a baby
they asked
is a
me.
big deal,
To me, it's a big deal.
right? So I should have had the right to that when I wanted to.
And
Listen,
he pressured you.
he pressured me, and that's what coercion means.
Yeah, but it's usually the other way around. Usually the girls like, I want to get a baby so I don't
No,
lose this guy.
but that's coercion. That's what the word coercion means, to pressure,
Yeah.
right? So listen, am I thrilled? Do I love being a young mother and that I'm young with my kids? It all worked out.
Of course.
But back then, I was like, no,
Was he worried that he was going to lose you or you to cheat on him?
I have no idea. Or he just wanted what he wanted when he wanted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I never thought of this is something new to me.
Yeah.
I really mean that. It's
Yeah, so this is
you were
coercion.
pressured
I was
to
pressured.
be married by this multimillionaire.
Yes.
This is before there was trouble.
Yeah, this was 6 months in.
And he was how old roughly?
He was 28, I was 23.
We were kids, really.
We were kids.
He wanted you to have his baby. Wow.
And
now as a really much older guy, I sort of get it. But I was like, how can I have kids? To me, that's very serious.
It's very
Making money
serious.
to me is not very serious. It's easy. It's
Right.
just like part of being my
Right.
journey. But having a baby.
Having a baby is a big deal, and that right shouldn't be taken away, right? So I couldn't set a boundary. It was never about what I needed. It was his way or the
This
highway.
is new. I've never heard this before. I just want you to know.
Yeah, well, how would you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's why I really understand the threatening, the dominating, the coercion, the pressure, and not being able to have a sense of self.
Yes, was he ever physically violent? Like, did he slap you? Or
No,
raise a hand
just
to
that
you?
one time, like the movie shows.
And he
yeah.
threw
But he
writing
would
the book
throw
about trashing rooms.
things.
Really,
Yeah,
he
he would throw things. Yeah.
He got frustrated
Well,
like that?
that was also when he was on drugs a lot, not when he
I
was
was
sober.
on drugs as much more than him. I never
Yeah.
threw anything. I never hit anybody.
Yeah. Well,
In fact, I've had things thrown at me. But
yeah.
I'm not going to
You
go
might
there.
have deserved it. No, I'm joking.
Of course I did. No, I probably did.
I'm joking.
But
Nobody
throwing
deserves.
crystal things that cost $6,000.
No, nobody
I'm
deserves
panicked.
that. But yeah, so no, he had a lot of rage,
Rage.
and that and that really scared me.
He has a river of rage that runs through him. I have that. Most men that are of that ilk
Yeah.
have that, and that's what gives us the extra energy to work the extra hours to produce a script, a manuscript, write a book, get it produced, find the right guys. It's a river of rage. It gives us like superhuman energy. The way it was explained to me
Yeah.
was it's like fire. God created fire. It exists in this universe, in this world.
Yes, we know that.
Fire is the most dangerous, most deadly element known to man.
Yeah, we saw that with the fires last
It's
week.
still going on. It can burn. It can destroy, ravage a city.
Terrible.
But if fire is managed correctly, that's why it was the purpose of my therapy, you can heat and light an entire city if
Yeah.
fire is used properly.
If it's used properly.
But if it's just running rampant through you,
Yeah. Yeah, it's
we'll
not.
eat you up alive at some point. So guys
Yeah.
like us have this river of rage that runs
Yeah.
through us. And it gives us like a superpower in some
Well,
respects.
rage makes you feel powerful, right?
No, it actually gives you, I can dial the phone longer. I
Mm-hmm.
can make more pitches. You guys are going home. I'm going to another meeting because I
Yeah.
have that extra bit of oomph.
Yeah.
And
Well, I wrote a book though, and I don't have a lot of rage.
you know what? I sitting here with you right
Yeah.
now, you're lovely and all, and pretty, and the whole package, what we put together. I mean, your gestures, everything is just, just very high level. And I would say that there's a chance maybe you do have some rage.
Well, I have anger.
Well, that's
Yeah, but I don't have like rage where I'm taking it out on people. I have healthy aggression.
Well,
right?
Well, I want to get to this point because this is something that, you go on and this is later in some point. I feel like you had some suppressed rage. You went and got your master's degree, and then you get a doctorate and you're writing a thesis. I mean, where did all this come from? Right?
That comes
This
from
didn't sound
my.
like a healthy, contented woman that was,
It
You
comes
understand
from.
what I mean, right?
Yeah, it comes from my desire to learn.
Okay.
I'm addicted. I love to learn, and I'm
Just almost you said
addicted.
the A word. Yeah.
Addicted to personal growth, and I love to learn.
Healthy addiction.
Yeah, and I love to. There's nothing better than being a therapist
I love that.
because I get to take all of this education and help people.
Help people.
And I love that. And so I'm driven by something different. I was in therapy once, many, many years ago. And I had this amazing conversation with my therapist. And I had some business idea. And I said, I don't want to do that. That'll give me power. She goes, what's wrong with power?
Exactly.
I said, well, I just think that it's used improperly and it means you're greedy. And she said, no, Nadine, you have a light magic. She said, you can use your power for good. And I was like a light bulb went on my head.
I understand.
I couldn't even believe it because I just associated power with greed and corruption and
If it's misused, if it's in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, if not for therapy, I would be dead.
Right.
God changed my life. Everything good that came out of my life came from my sobriety and from my
And so once you got sober at 30, in your early 30s, you stayed sober?
yeah, for a long time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good for you.
A long time. But so what was the time lag in the end of the movie?
Yeah.
You leave, right? You
Yep.
go to L.A.,
Yep.
but you don't go right into therapy.
No.
No.
I mean, I was,
you're still a young woman.
yeah, I'm 32.
You meet John.
So I meet John. I'm in therapy, though, through the whole thing.
You're in therapy.
So the second I met Jordan, I put my ass in therapy. I said, there is no way that I can manage this guy in this life.
Really?
Yeah.
You were in therapy.
Through the whole
So Margot
marriage.
Robbie was if
Yeah.
she was being accurate,
She
right?
would be in therapy.
Okay, we didn't get that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in therapy the whole time. And I believe therapy saved my life. So
Jordan knew this.
Oh, yeah. Every Monday at 1 p.m., I went to Nina Cohen in Roslyn.
Shout out Nina Cohen. I'm surprised you didn't know Cheryl Brand.
Yeah, so I
With
loved
Cheryl Toffler.
I loved therapy. And then I was
What'd you talk about?
my life, how
All
crazy
these
it
things,
was.
right?
But nobody was talking about narcissism or trauma bonds or any of this back then.
That was his thing. He was a narcissist.
Yeah, but even
You were
my
the codependent.
Even my therapist
the
really,
enabler.
yeah, right. We didn't really talk about that. I mean, we talked about it, but we didn't give names to it. I just really needed a safe place to go without
get it.
judgment and process.
That I get. You need someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Someone's
she was-
educated.
and I think she saved my life.
I'll bet. Listen, it seems today.
Yeah.
Boy, this is big stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I didn't know any of this stuff.
Yeah. So then when I moved to California,
It would have been great in the movie if they
I
showed
know.
that. You know that,
would have
right?
been good. It
Yeah.
would have added a different element.
It just changed my whole head because now, we're in the theater watching.
Yes.
He's acting out all over the place,
Right.
right? Like lunatic.
Like a lunatic.
You're not there.
Right.
It just shows you, like, maybe, I don't want to say being like a bitch,
Yes.
but like you were talking in your sleep, who's Angel or whatever the name she was
Yeah.
saying, whatever, like
Yeah.
this, and you were
Venice.
fighting this
Yeah,
and that.
yeah.
And I understand they got to make a movie, they're going to keep it like 2-3 hours.
Right.
Very difficult to do. I mean, Scorsese's obviously brilliant.
Yes.
But I agree with what you say about the way he portrays women. He's
Women,
very
yeah.
sort of old school, very Sicilian.
Yes.
Someone else I know. But yeah, so the fact that you were in therapy, I think that enabled you to move
Maybe.
forward. If you
Yeah.
really loved him,
Yeah.
it's hard to leave someone you love.
Oh, yeah. No, it definitely supported me in my growth and being able to leave
I mean, if
him.
you really
Yeah.
loved him,
Yeah.
you didn't love just the money and the lifestyle.
Oh, I really loved him. Yeah, I was heartbroken by the whole demise of it all, for sure.
But he
I had.
pressured you to have babies.
Yeah, he
And
did.
get married. He pressured you. I mean, I learned about this concept of the baby mama while I was in prison.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Guys have like 6 baby mamas, 8 baby
Yeah,
mamas,
that doesn't
11
make-
children.
That's terrible.
I don't. It's the most
just-
incredible thing I've ever
That's
heard.
not-
Really,
That's not.
there's just no value on.
Yeah, that's no. That's.
You know
not-
what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
put a
not
baby.
healthy.
I put a baby in it.
No,
I
that's
put a
not
baby in it.
healthy.
She was in the mall. She was very hot. I put a baby in her. I mean,
That's
This
crazy.
is how they talk. I mean,
That's disturbing.
more than you know. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's brutal. But so he's pressuring you, and at some point you give in.
Yeah, well, I just thought, oh, you know what? He just loves me so much. That's why he wants me to have a baby.
I believe that, though.
Yeah, and
You believe
probably.
that?
Yeah, I think it was a combination, or he just, I don't know really, because we've never really had the discussion, but I know it was wrong.
Was it wrong?
Yeah, I think it's wrong to pressure somebody into doing something that they're not ready to do, like have a
Well,
child.
I get that, but still, you
Yeah.
did it. You did it. You had a baby for a woman. I find that to be the most unbelievable thing.
Yeah, and listen, and I'm thrilled. I love my daughter. She's my best friend. It all
Right.
turned out, but it's part of the pattern of the domination and the intimidation.
Right.
But I was in therapy, yes, and I do think it saved my life. Hence why at 39.
So I think women use a lot of these things.
Well, I know, isn't this
get-
enlightening?
Women use this to hook a guy in. I want to have
They
his baby.
can.
You know,
They
I
can.
mean,
Yeah,
it's
sure.
like it's like an old thing. It's an adage almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that was not my.
No,
experience,
this is different.
yeah.
I'm fascinated by this whole thing.
Yeah.
So he placed that kind of value on you as a possession, as
an object.
whatever it is. Right, right. I
Yes.
get that. And so he wanted to keep you some way, shape, or form. But he also probably looked at you and said, you know what, she'd be a great mom.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
get
am a
that
great
too.
mom.
It's very confusing for men.
Yeah.
For a woman, it's pretty overt. You're going to carry this thing. You're going to nurture this thing. You're going to go through a pregnancy. It's not 5 minutes or 5 days
No,
or even
it's
5
long
months. You understand?
time.
It's like, a year. And then this is your baby. It's like, the baby. It's been in your belly the whole time. It's part
Right.
of you.
That's right.
And everybody's handing me the baby, and I'm like, great, okay, I love her, she's beautiful, it's mine. And then but you can't do anything, she doesn't say anything.
Right.
And she's
right.
sleeping half the time. I'll look you up in her eyes. Come here.
Right.
She's looking.
Yes, yes,
You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes,
So it's a
yes.
different experience for men. And so I have to process all this. This is a lot for me.
That's okay.
This
Take your
is
time.
new information.
Yeah.
So now you're out of the marriage. You're seeing Nina Cohn. You moved to L.A.
Yes.
There goes Nina, right? No
Yes,
tele.
no
I
more.
did a lot of tele.
Yeah, no,
things.
I found another therapist in Los Angeles.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so you're living with John.
That's correct.
You have your 2 kids.
Yep.
You're trying to, deal with this new financial reality.
Yeah.
Because I live in reality, so I understand
Yeah.
there's things.
Yep.
Some people just don't.
Yeah.
Don't want to live in this reality, which is a nice reality, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not real.
I
Yes, I
understand.
was working at the time. I was in the garment business. So
Out
was
in California?
he. Yeah, in California
know
too.
that. Okay.
Yeah, so because he had a garment company, and so I had mine, and then I would sell maternity clothing to Target, to Walmart. So then I built a business doing that.
Cool.
Yeah, and so I was making
Separate from John.
Yeah, yeah. Well, no, with John.
Oh, with John,
I
okay.
mean, it was my
You had a showroom and
design.
they-
Yeah, and then I originally sold to like Barney's and Fred Siegel and the high end, and then we knocked my line off, and we sold it to
Smart.
the masses.
I love it.
Yeah, and then I was meditating, doing yoga, drinking green juice like we do in LA. And I was like, I'm going to go back to school to be a therapist.
What was the time period?
So I moved to California maybe 33, and then I went back to school at 38.
And you with John now?
Yeah.
He doesn't have he adopted your kids. He raises.
He has three. He had 3 kids of his own. So we had a modern day Brady Bunch.
So you're the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, we're the Brady Bunch.
It's just 5 kids now.
That was always my dream. My mother said to be the Brady Bunch. So
I love it.
It happened.
Did you have Alice?
I did have an Alice.
I love that.
Yes. And then I went
great.
back to school because I was like, therapy saved my life.
I love
And I
that.
wanna
So
help
you just
people.
wanted more.
Yeah.
You wanted more is my drug of choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More.
Yeah, I wanted more. And then I got my master's, and then
Now tell us about the masters.
the master's was amazing. I went to Pacifica Graduate Institute in Santa Barbara.
You actually physically had to go?
Yeah, so what they do for adults is you go once a month for the 3 days.
Okay.
Then you do the rest
Really?
of your work at home. Yeah.
I love it.
And it was fantastic. And then you get trained to be a clinician, and you have to do 3,000 hours
It sounds like prison.
to be a licensed
Your Honor.
clinician.
Thank you.
And then take 2 state tests. So while I was doing the 3,000 hours, I was like, you know what? Might as well just get my doctorate.
Well, slow down. You had a master's in what? Though? I was reading.
Counseling, a master's in counseling.
In actual counseling.
Yeah, so I'm an actual
So
counselor. Yep.
I could be a patient, technically, right?
Exactly.
You sit down with somebody and
Yeah, I do it all day long.
and you learn that kind of thing, right? They
Yeah,
learn,
you have to learn it. Yeah.
yeah, and you have to be licensed.
And then you get
State
licensed.
license?
Yep, state
So you had
license
it-
in California.
Did
Yep.
you get it transferred over to Florida?
No, now I just do Zoom everywhere.
You-
COVID changed it.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
COVID changed it for us.
AA meetings are on Zoom. You know.
Yeah,
I
and-
think that's crazy, but
Yeah,
what else are you
it's-
gonna do?
Yeah, it changed it and it opened up the world of therapy. So now I get to work with women everywhere.
You know, I'm very good friends with a woman. If you're not aware of her, you should be. Her name is Kayla Hodges. Kayla, what's shaking?
Okay.
Red, tall, thin, redhead. Very
Yeah.
athletic. She's with a guy named Jeremy Minor.
Okay.
Big sales guy, big online. She empowers women. She teaches women sales training.
Oh, that's lovely. I
Right.
lif it.
Women from all over the world sign up. Pay real
Fantastic.
money. So she asked me one day to come and as a guest. I do a lot of guest stuff. And if I would run the meeting, so there's 12 women, little heads on the computer screen. I went up to her. She has a place in Miami. And I'm thinking these are all local women for some reason. I said, so where are you from? I'm in Chile. Where are
Right.
you from? I'm in friggin' Venezuela.
That's right.
No, not where you're from. Where are you? I'm in Venezuela.
Yeah.
I said, what the fuck?
That's the way the world
I'm
is
from
now.
China. I'm from Korea. They pay the money and they get legitimate sales training
That's fantastic.
from a very empowering woman
Yeah.
who, excuse my French, gets knocked up by her high school boyfriend when she's 16.
Aw.
Dad's a preacher, a reverend. I don't know the difference, a preacher.
Right.
So she's got to have the baby. Has the baby at 16. She's a young mother. By the time she gets her driver's license, she's got a 1-year-old. She goes to college. She's got the baby. The college boyfriend turned out not to be drug addict, abusive, a whole nother story. She had to go through her 20s with Claire, her daughter. Claire, shout out, we're shaking.
Yeah.
And, she's being very successful.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's like a
that's-
tiger.
Yeah,
Stephanie
she's-
says she's like a superhero.
Yeah, that's
what I
amazing.
mean?
That's a beautiful story.
I love that. I believe that there's not enough women empowering women,
Right.
and I think that there's a real need for it.
There is.
And I'm in the online space now, and I'm an educator. I'm an influencer. I have a mastermind program. A lot of young men, even one woman. I'm
Yeah.
advised now. It's pretty cool, and empowerment is a big thing, and people like us that have already gone through life,
Yes.
a lot of the pitfalls,
Yes.
a lot of the successes,
Yes.
understanding maybe what we did right, what we did wrong, what we could have done.
Mm-hmm.
People that have educated themselves
Yes.
through other means, looking for more. We're perfectly situated in today's world. For the first time in the history of mankind, women from throughout the world can run like hell to Nadine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can run like hell to Nadine.
Yeah.
And get help.
That's
if you
right.
feel trapped.
That's
if
right.
you feel confused. If people are saying, just, suck it up.
Yeah.
That's what we
Right.
go through.
Right. Don't listen.
Well, I'm just saying, people do feel trapped.
Yeah, they do.
For real, I was trapped in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And I'm a man, and I'm a narcissist, and I'm all these things, but yet this woman was slapping me around, and I was just
No.
I was trapped. And it's a crazy story, but this is your day. So, Run Like Hell. That's a great title.
Yes.
Where'd you get that from?
I wish
Naming a book is a big story.
No, I wish I could say I can't take any credit for it. My publisher, they came up with the name, and I said, I don't know if it's academic enough.
It's not.
And they said, Nadine, this is
great.
the title.
It's a great title.
And I said, okay, I'm going to release. I'm going to surrender. Let's do it.
That's smart. You see, all the things to do. It's the right thing to do. But Run Like Hell, you really. But I believe you don't just run like hell, right? You had therapy.
Right.
You picked the right moment.
That's
you
right.
explain it. I mean, you explain
That's
he's
right.
on an ankle monitor, he's house arrest. He can't chase you. He can't follow you. He's got his hands full with bigger problems.
Got his hands full. That's right.
And so
right.
They put a lot of thought in it, but the title is very catchy.
It is. It's a great
really
title.
great.
Yeah, you do have to put thought in it because when you're in a relationship like this, just think about it. If the person wants power and control over you, once you say, bye-bye, adios, I'm leaving, they're not going to be happy. So I always say to the women I work with, you have to, once you decide inside you're done, because we all kind of have that moment, then you just have to plan behind the scenes. You can't tell them, I'm done. Don't make the mistake I did.
Interesting.
You have to plan behind the scenes and then say, hey.
Then run like hell.
Yeah, then you're out. Yeah.
Establish your quick boundaries. And
yeah, you can't
maybe
just
geographical. So a lot of women, they don't realize that they're the problem. And they in the program we use words like they do it geographical. They move across the country, move to another city.
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
I have no luck in Boca Raton, so I'm going to
right
Miami.
Instead of doing the internal work.
It's an inside job.
It's an inside. Healing is an inside job.
From the inside out.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's really
yes. So a lot of women will come to me, and I get it. They're not ready to leave, and that's okay. So I said, okay, then we're just going to build you up, strengthen you, see what weaknesses you will have. Let's work towards fixing those. And then build up your strengths. And then one day, when you're ready to leave, you'll do it.
You empower them.
I empower them. Yeah.
One brick at a time, like
and it takes time.
Your time takes time.
Yeah, you can't just. I never. If a woman comes to me, I don't judge them because they're not leaving, or they. It takes a woman on average 4 to 7 times to leave.
4 to 7 what?
Attempts to try to get out of a trauma bond.
Really? You can actually put a numerical value on it?
Yes.
See, I learned that time is an acronym.
Oh,
It stands for things I must earn.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. It's about
everything takes time.
Time takes time. But 4 to 7 attempts. They literally, this is shocking to me.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy, when I make a decision, I make a decision.
Right.
Like that,
I know. I
mean?
can see that. Yes.
And to 4 to 7 attempts.
4 to 7 attempts. So I
you
sit
really
with
feel
them.
trapped, like it's bad. Like
yeah. So I sit with them, and then when they're ready, they run like
you
hell.
actually coach them.
Yes, I coach.
You can coach women through this kind of thing.
Completely.
Ladies, wake up! You hear this?
This is all I do all day long.
I mean, this is like you're getting it from the Margot Robbie of psychotherapy.
Yes.
So now you're in California.
Yeah.
You're doing your 3,000 hours.
That's right.
You're getting your master's in counseling.
Yes.
So now you become a psychologist? What's the term?
Yeah, therapist. Psychologist, therapist.
Like you have a certificate of something that says?
Yes, you have to have a license.
A master's of
psychology
psychology
license,
or whatever.
Yep.
That's really cool. I like that. So you're very learned.
It's official.
So now you're getting your master's. And, and something came to you and you decided to get a doctorate.
Yeah.
Now what was that about? You wanted to be Dr. Macaluso?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, your maiden name was Grasso, right?
Caridi.
Caridi.
Yeah, Caridi.
I know you have a brother.
I do. AJ.
Yeah. A friend of mine. He worked for my friend of mine.
Yeah. My brother's great. He lives in Vancouver. He opened up AJ's Brooklyn Pizza joint. And he has it in Vancouver, and he just franchised here in Florida.
Really?
Yeah, in Orlando.
I can't wait to tell my partner. He's a partner in this company, Raw Media.
Yeah,
What we're
yeah.
doing
So
today.
my brother's
And
doing
AJ worked for him.
great. Yeah, my brother's doing great.
So I heard he was a great kid.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah, so I get my PhD.
You
and
don't
now
just get
I'm
it. They don't just get
45.
You don't just get a PhD.
No. Yeah, it
Tell me
took
about
5
that.
years. So it took
It's
5
years to get a PhD.
3 years of school and 2 years to write a 240-page dissertation.
You serious?
Yeah.
It's 5 years
5 years took.
to be a doctor.
Yeah. 2 years to get the master's, so 7 years total.
You guys listening to this, I'm shocked. After all your masters, you had where'd you go? Where did you get your undergraduate degree?
At Baruch.
Okay, with great school.
Yeah,
Not
Baruch.
Baruch.
Yeah,
It's
and-
father
yeah.
of the criminal justice system.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, this is crazy. You're
It
a
is
mom.
crazy. And now I'm a mom.
You're
yeah.
a wife. You have 5 members of the tribe.
Yeah, so
You're
cute.
in California. By now, Jordan's out of jail. He's written a book, right?
Yep.
And now you decide you're going to get a master's. 5 years. I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
It sounds like a sentence.
I'm patient. Well, the movie came out he wrote the book in 2007, I think, right when I was going back to school.
It came out in 10, I think.
And
right?
then the movie came out in 2013.
13, right? That's right. That's
and
right.
so I got my master's in 2015. So it all was happening.
Your master's in 15.
I mean PhD in
PhD.
2015. So it was all happening simultaneously.
Now tell us about what's it like to become a doctor. It's wild.
It's great.
No, but I mean, like the work to get there.
Oh, it's so much work. But you know what? Jordan's mom, who's an amazing woman, she said to me, you might as well. The time's going to go by anyway.
It goes by anyway. She's right.
She's right.
Use the time wisely.
Use the time wisely.
Things I must earn.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
so it was so much work, but my husband was really supportive. And I love psychology and I love what I'm learning. And it's so empowering to learn. Nobody can bullshit at me anymore.
Well, they can, but
But I'm much better at
you're
it.
much better processor.
I'm much better at it.
You see it coming, right?
I was so trusting. Now I know all about pathology and all of these.
So trusting.
I was
hope you're all
so
listening.
trusting. And now I realize trust has to be earned.
Exactly.
But I blindly gave it.
Trust. You were young. You can't
I
beat
was
yourself
young.
up.
No,
You can't beat yourself
I
up.
understand.
So if I would have met Nadine
Mm-hmm.
Macaluso, the masters,
Yeah.
after you were counseling,
Yes.
the woman that I'm talking to today, who's been through 5 years of schooling to get a PhD doctor,
Yeah.
what an accomplishment that is,
Thank you.
right? My mother used to always say, doctor, whenever you check into a hotel, you write doctor. She wanted me to be a doctor so badly,
Aw.
But what was that woman like? You got your master's, you married John, your mother of 5.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that woman was pretty incredible too, no? Pretty capable.
Yeah. Capable, happy.
What happened?
Yes.
What does 5 years give you? What does that bring to the table? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think, like you said, it gave me the discipline to write my book because it takes a lot of discipline to write a book.
Much harder than people think.
It's very hard.
I promise you.
It's very hard. And it gave me an amazing education to really understand how humans are made, the emotional internal landscape of a human being, and all the trauma or neglect or abuse that we experience as a child, and how it really programs us to be a certain way in life. And like God played a trick on us, and then we spend the rest of our life unraveling from
Yeah, I
that.
get that.
And so I really understand that.
So you've done a lot of study.
A lot of study.
I always say everything's in a book. I've been telling my kids that since they're born.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden my daughter's a big reader. I couldn't get her to read jack shit.
And now she loves it.
If she read a fortune cookie, that was enough. If it wasn't on Twitter or Snapchat or
Right.
But now she takes pride in reading. Sky, what's up, baby? Talking about you. Love you so much. So proud of you.
Yeah.
You too said, you can't praise one.
That's right. You can't praise one without the other. Yeah.
there's a lot involved in this. Being a parent is really a great challenge. That's why I
Yes.
waited till I was 42.
Which was smart.
Yeah, and I picked someone that was, she was such a wonderful mother,
Good.
The best decision. Sobriety gave me that gift.
Yeah, sobriety works.
Gave me that gift, But I think Jordan picked a great woman, too.
He did.
I do. And he has an innate quality.
Mm-hmm.
He recognizes value, and but all the other things,
Got in the way.
well, he's going through his journey.
That's right.
He's in a different place now. I see
He
he's got a
is.
young woman.
Yes. Yeah,
And
very lovely wife.
He's married, and he's
Yeah.
very successful, and he teaches something that he really understands,
Yep.
which I think is a good thing.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
we
happy
f-
for him.
We can find our way in this world if we try.
That's right.
So now Nadine is a doctor. What a ceremony that is! Like you get like a robe and stuff. And,
You
no,
do.
but now you're a doctor.
You
Like
do,
really,
You do. You walk
You're
across
Dr.
the stage.
Macaluso. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's no joke. It tells. I read in the book about the dissertation. I didn't really understand.
Yeah, so I wrote my dissertation all
What does
about...
that mean? That's a big word, and we all have an idea
250 pages of a research document
that you write.
that you write.
You compose this 250 pages.
That's right.
Single space and double space.
Double space.
Thank God.
Double
Right.
space. Yeah. So you write that, and I wrote mine about developmental trauma and how it affects who we are, the adults that we come to be, and how to heal it.
See, a lot of people I don't think understand that who you come to be is not an accident.
Yeah,
That we're born into a set of circumstances.
that's right.
We have a DNA which is sort of fixed,
Yeah.
but the environment is completely.
Yeah.
It's a wild card.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what I mean?
nature and nurture. That's right.
And we don't know. I stopped blaming my mother. She was who she was.
Yeah.
One of the things people say is they did the best they can under circumstances. I'm not always sure that's true in my case.
Yeah.
I think that she didn't do the best she could. I think she could have done better.
She could have done better.
But what's the point of even? There's no
Right.
percentage.
It's not a blame game. It's just really going back and understanding how you got conditioned to be the type of person. that you
Conditioning
are.
is a big thing.
Yeah.
Conditioning is a big
Right.
thing.
And so then you need to know, because if you keep repeating the same patterns and your life isn't working out, it's a good time to pause and be like, I got to go deep in and fix this.
It's an inside job.
Yeah.
Now you're Italian,
I'm half Italian. Yeah.
okay? Raised in
Brooklyn, yeah.
That's real Italian in some ways.
Yeah.
No sense.
Yeah.
And so your mom made a sauce.
Well, my dad was Italian. My mom was
Okay.
English.
Ooh, that's right.
Yes, my
So,
mom is English.
Hence the famous aunt.
Yes,
in the movie.
exactly.
That's true?
Yes, that's true.
Was she really a nominee in his business?
Yes, exactly.
She did. He put stock in her name and
Yes.
money and all that. So it was really. And Emma, I'm sure.
That's right.
She was so wonderfully portrayed.
Yes, yes.
The actress was so great.
So great. Yep.
And the scenes that they did together, that was really great.
Yeah.
And Emma. Now, when you were growing up, was it sauce or was it gravy? That's how the Italians were.
Yeah, I think it was gravy.
Yeah, real Italians said gravy.
I think it was
Yeah,
gravy.
yeah.
Yeah, it was gravy. Yeah, my mother, she died when I was 31. So she was
31.
she was 52.
She was pretty young, yeah.
She was young, but she really instilled in me the love of education and psychology. That's where it comes from.
So you had that somewhere in your mind.
Yes,
in your-
she always was like, I don't care how you look, you need to be educated. And I was a great student as a child, and we were always talking about how we feel. And she was reading Freud and Jung in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah, so I
She's,
come from that.
it's part of your DNA.
It's part of me. Yeah,
that's
it was
great.
That was a good part that was conditioned into me.
This is the Dr. Macaluso. I
Yeah,
get it.
that's how I get it from
that's-
her.
And you've learned this in your voyage, right? Because part of being, I'm guessing, part of becoming a psychologist, part of getting a master's, part of getting a doctorate in this field
Yes.
is a lot of, when you're examining other people, you're examining yourself.
Of course.
It's a big deal.
It's a parallel process, yes.
If I'm building a portfolio for you and for him and for that one, doing it for me.
That's right.
So
Yes.
it
Yes.
it follows that you've done so much self-examination.
A lot.
Like, yeah, and your situation was so explosive.
Yeah, it was extreme.
They made a friggin' movie about this whole thing. I mean, a
Yes.
big movie, nominated for Academy Awards and all these different things. And I think it's become like a cult. Everybody said, I say, you ever hear this movie?
Everybody has.
And everybody's like, it's my favorite movie. I watched it 5 times. Everybody. I mean, it's like a
Everybody.
world-renowned story. He wrote a great story now.
He did.
Joel told me I was in the office one time. Sorry, Joel. And Jordy called before I went to prison when I was going through my things, my issues, and he wanted to make a deal for me, like he did for Jordan. He told me that Jordan submitted 1,200 pages.
Wow.
It was a manuscript. It was a wreck. And that he used to lend Jordan $5,000 a month so he could live.
Yeah, he's a nice man.
And that his best writer took that 1,200 pages, turned it into The Wolf of Wall Street that we know. And in the acknowledgement section, which is like 5 feet, right to the end of every book, like 3, 4, 5 pages, the whole first paragraph, not Joel Gottlieb, none of this would be happening. All these, so I knew that was real.
Yeah.
So one time I'm in Joel's office and the phone rings, and it's your ex-husband, it's Jordan, screaming, yelling, and he put it on speakerphone, and he goes, and I, screaming at
There's the rage.
this motherfucker, does he fuck you fucking know I got a great life, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, this motherfucker's trying to ruin my life. And Joe's like, slow down, he's a calm guy,
He is a calm guy.
Jewish guy from Beverly Hills. He's like, listen, Jody goes, Joel, if this comes out, it's going to make me look like a scumbag. Now that you mention it, yes, I saw the rage. I experienced that rage.
That's right.
I don't have that rage that way, maybe because I got therapy. I don't know, but so Joel looks at me. He's looking at this phone. He goes, Jordan, have you read your book? You are a scumbag. It was unbelievable. I was there. So before the movie was, it was back in like 2010 or 11, 12. I was in the middle of my trial and being charged and all these different things. Because have you read your book? You are a scumbag. I mean, he was going crazy. But, so, you've been on sort of this guy comes into your life. I was there that night.
Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
Ciao Bella.
Yeah.
Ginger Sesson.
Yeah.
My limo. Mr.
Yeah.
Levy.
So
Right
fun.
table right outside at Ciao Bella, 78th and so I remember that. I don't remember many things, but I remember that I remember meeting him. Mm-hmm. I remember not feeling great about him. It was something, listen, he's your ex-husband, father of your children. I felt something dark. Mm-hmm. He had the eye thing, big eyeball thing. But you were absolutely stunning and it was almost like, whoa. And I was invited to the Hamptons, that party.
Yeah.
Danny sat here and told me the house was rented. I thought he owned it. Now, I had just gotten sober and had lost so much money. And when Jordy was at D.H. Blair, I was the number 2 broker out of 150. Michael Falk today is a billionaire. He has his own island in Palm Beach, the helicopter pad and all that, and I was on track for that. And all of a sudden I went crazy, drugs, alcohol, bad decisions, etc. And now I'm $1 million in debt, but I'm now drug-free. I'm going to meetings. I'm working on the steps, etc. My self-examination, my journey to try and better myself, and figure out what the fuck am I going to do with this life. And I invited out to that house, and I was at the party, not for a long time. I was there. I couldn't handle it.
Right.
I just couldn't handle it.
I'm sure. It's a crazy party.
And I told Ginger I'd meet her there. I don't remember if she was there or not. I can't remember. I didn't remember seeing you.
Yeah.
I was into my own head. I was raging, but by myself.
But by yourself, yeah.
And I drove up and down Dune Road. I'll never forget.
Yeah.
And because I had rented houses there. I was a big shot. I was at the club, the beach club there. I took a place.
The West Hampton.
$25,000 for the summer,
Right.
$30,000 by myself.
Right.
That's where Ginger and I would, do some things and get together, whatever. She'd stop by. All these good things. But to make a long story short, I made a vow that day that I'm going to have a house. I'm going to get my house. That should be my house. That's what I was thinking. and I was so angry. And I said, I'm going to get that house. I'm going to that house on the beach, and I'm going to have,
Yeah, you were determined.
my girl, my babies, and all this.
Right.
And I did.
Good.
And I bought Stephanie a house on the beach. That's what she wanted for. She didn't want to go on a honeymoon.
Oh, that was smart of
I
her.
was able to do that.
Yeah.
In 1998, we got married and bought a house in Atlantic Beach, right on the ocean.
Yeah.
5,000 square feet, the whole thing.
Nice.
She decorated. She got the the checkbook. But my babies, they were born in New York City because we had a place in Manhattan, and
Okay.
we brought them back right away to Atlantic Beach. It was
Yeah.
really a beautiful thing. And so, the power of determination,
Mm-hmm.
the being able to access my rage and use it as a tool to fuel me,
Yeah.
gave me superpowers, and as a man. And so, I've learned to manage that. And I see that in you. I see a superwoman. You're.
Sweet.
I think back to that day. I'll never forget. I didn't even want to go.
Yeah.
Because I was newly sober, I was edgy, and in
Yeah,
a
I
social
get that.
situation, you got to drink, and Ginger's like,
I get that. Yeah.
this whole thing, and she says, "You're a lingerie model," and all these years later, I remember that line because that's how sick I am. Do you understand how sick I am?
That's okay. I forgive you.
But you understand what I mean?
Yes.
I can't remember important things, but
But you remember that,
You're a
yeah.
lingerie model. That's stuck because I'm a guy, and I'm. You know what I mean? It's so crazy how we are. Men, we're wired very differently, but yet, when I read your book, I'm not finished, but I'm like studying it. I found myself studying it.
Yeah.
I found myself rereading.
Yeah, because it's a lot to take in.
It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
not, but you break it down in a way that's it's digestible. But it's
Good.
actually it's so digestible. It was disturbing.
Yeah.
I
Well,
really
it's
was
very
uncomfortable.
real.
I felt
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, because it's very real. Like
Coming here today, I felt disturbed. I swear I'm telling you the
you
truth.
didn't know what you were going to walk into.
No. It's just that denial is a very, very powerful
Oh,
thing.
yes, seeing maybe things about yourself that you didn't really want to acknowledge or admit. Like,
I'd rather just not think about it.
Yeah.
I'd just go about
Well,
my
yeah,
life.
my-
I'm living a good life. I'm
Right.
doing the best I can. Right
Right.
now, life is it's good. It's getting better.
yeah,
And,
but it's good because you get to see things that maybe you did in your past. You don't have to judge yourself.
I'm
you
a
were
big
younger.
Judge. I'm a tough judge.
I know, but you were younger, and you can also help educate men.
I'm still bad. You know what I mean? I still see. It's just like I see. You know what it's like? It's like you have a big house. You lived there for 67 years. And there are certain rooms you just don't even want to go in.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm taking a flashlight, looking around these
Yes,
rooms
yes,
that I've been
yes.
avoiding.
Yeah.
I have closet fear. I have weird stuff. I'm not afraid of
Yeah.
anything, but I'm afraid to go into the closet, my closet.
Right.
I'd rather just buy all the clothes.
Right.
I don't like opening up the drawer and seeing my stuff. I just rather get all new stuff. Do you know what I mean? I have these
Yes.
crazy things that.
Yeah,
But a guy could point a gun at me and I laugh at him.
Right.
I mean, I'm just not afraid of certain things. I don't have this normal sort of healthy fear.
Mm-hmm.
But I have these weird, little phobias like everybody.
No, well, I'm glad you were able to face yourself in the book.
Yeah,
Parts of
facing you
yourself.
is it's
Yes.
really thinking back to that day. You were 22,
Mm-hmm.
right? 22 years, 91.
Yeah, I'm 57 now.
What year were you born?
67.
67.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 91.
And Christmas Eve.
Was it 90? Was it 89?
It was 89.
It was 89. So I was still using probably. If I had the limo, maybe that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah.
But I was hitting bottom. It was a really rough time.
But it was a rough time
Yeah,
for
actually,
you.
it was so bad I got sober in 1990.
Yeah,
I
so
was
we must have
I
met
was
you
so
right
bad.
before that,
And then I
yeah.
went to the bar mitzvah in 1991.
Yeah.
I can't remember a lot of these times.
Yeah.
But I do remember meeting you, and I remember the impression you left. And I was like, God damn it, boy.
And who would have known we'd be sitting here all these years later?
And look what you've accomplished. Look what you've accomplished. Like, I'm proud of you. Like,
Thank you.
5 years, I never heard this before, to get a PhD. That's fucking crazy.
That's what it
I
takes.
better treat my doctors better.
Yeah, that's
They
it takes.
really earned that title.
You really earn it. And, what happened for me, too, is when I was living in California, what inspired me to write the book was all these smart, bright, beautiful women were coming in trauma bonds, like being betrayed, being lied to, being coerced. And I thought, we have a problem. This is still happening. And so that's when I went back to the research and wrote the book.
From the beginning of time.
Yeah, and it's still
I'm
happening.
the hunter. You're the nester.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back. I'm going to bring the food. You want to eat?
Well,
That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, I think.
Here's what we're going to do.
I think human relationships are a little bit more complicated.
But it's the same principle.
Yes, it's the same principle.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, and it needs to change because nobody deserves to be abused because they fall in love.
Well, sometimes it's for need. Women gotta get married.
Sometimes women get married for need.
I know
Yes.
a woman only through social media. I've met her. I know her from actually Delray, Boca Raton, and she's like turning 30, and I know that from social media. She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
And she's been in a series of like unhealthy relationships.
Well, she needs my book.
Yeah, she's a wreck. And if you saw her, she's beautiful.
Yeah.
But the people don't. A lot of women, I believe, are in situations like you are, without Nina, without the therapist,
right?
And they don't know what to do. I'm not saying that they just feel trapped. They just know there's something not right.
That's right.
I think that's probably the most common thing.
Yeah.
Women, are you listening?
Yeah.
You don't feel right? We're going to reach out to Nadine.
Yeah.
If you're blessed, you'll have a session. You do online sessions.
Yeah, I do.
What? Because the beauty of what we're doing, it's broadcast all over the world.
I know. It's great.
These clips are going to be fantastic. You look great. They're going to be fantastic. And,
thanks.
so now, you were that girl. You were the prize, right? You were the
object.
An object, but you were like a prize. Anybody that saw Jordan with you was like, wow, damn. I mean that.
Okay.
And women, this is because I was married to a beautiful woman. When I would walk into a room, the women would take to me because somehow, if I'm with Stephanie, there's something good about me.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just,
I believe
it's
you.
just like an odd thing, but people covet.
Mm.
If you study scripture, you'll understand what covet is. I don't really covet. It's just not my thing, and I'm not jealous, and I don't covet. I have my own weird things, but most people I've learned they covet.
Want what you have.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the 10 Commandments even. Don't covet thy neighbor. Your neighbor has this new people, guys have these cars. I'm with a group of guys now from this industry, this arena, and they have Lamborghinis, and I could have bought the company at one time.
Right.
The car. It's like a joke.
Yeah.
And but that's their thing.
Yeah.
They pull up in these Lamborghinis and they take the top down
silly.
and they get out. But we were into that kind of thing.
I remember I was there a long time ago. I get it.
You know what I mean? I was never big with the car thing, but I get it.
Yeah,
I had a watch
I
collection
understand.
and all these different things.
Yeah, but all those things don't make us happy on the inside.
None of them. It didn't matter at all.
No.
But they're nice to have.
Yeah.
You
could have one.
Well, you could have many, but you have to have. You have to have your house in order mentally and emotionally, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So now, what advice do you give to other women that are beautiful, that are with men, that are special, gifted, financially or intelligent? I know in the academic world, there's not always a lot of money in academia, but I know a lot of these men are really bright. Their brains and they have their way with women in that field because they're so highly respected and regarded.
Right.
And it's not about the watches or the cars or the homes.
Right.
But it's about the thesis and the dissertation, all the different things.
Yeah.
And so these women in academia, because I know women like that have been sort of what you would call unhealthy relationships. Is that the right word?
Sure. Yeah. Because listen, let's say a professor and a student, right? There's a power imbalance.
There's a lot of that.
Right, but that's what makes a trauma bond what it is there's always a power imbalance. Usually one person has the power and exploits it. So what I say to women when they come to me, and they're usually confused, is I give them a lot of assessments. I teach them about their personality, their attachment. I teach them about their trauma, their developmental experiences growing up. Then I say, okay, this is who you are. You've spent enough time focusing on him, or if it's a man, right, a woman. You've spent enough time focusing on them. Turn the mirror back on you, and let's start your work. So you can heal and you can get strong enough, and then when you're ready, you can leave.
Wow. That's, a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, I guess if a woman reaches out to you in the first place, like, what do they say? What is somebody that
They'll say
do they reveal stuff right away?
Oh, right away.
Do they?
Now they do. Yeah. My husband got arrested, or my husband cheated on me, or my husband lies to me. So a lot of these women have been married for 30 years and they're just leaving. And then some are 5, 15. It's all women, all different ages, all different socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It's all people.
But they reveal this stuff to you right away?
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because, therapy is 100% confidential.
Well,
It's legal.
People have been betrayed and all these things,
But not in my world. Like, it's illegal to break confidentiality.
No, I know that, but
yeah.
there's a lot of illegality. I was in prison with the guys that broke laws,
Yeah, so they
steal
feel
identities
safe. They feel safe
Yep.
with me. They know me from social media. They know me from my story. They're like, she gets it. Aside from the fact that she's educated, she's been through it. There's a different understanding also when you've been through something.
I understand. I'm
That
living
that
proof.
that
Yeah,
education can't teach.
Experience is the only teacher.
It's the only teacher.
I think, to me.
So I have both, and so they feel validated and understood, and safe enough, I think, to tell me. And no, of course, certain things maybe they might not tell me everything all at once, but over time, we develop a really special
It's
relationship.
like peeling an onion.
Yes.
There's layers, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and then I help them, and then one day they'll be like, Dr. Nay, I'm ready to leave. I'm like, okay, let's plan.
Really.
And then
And
we plan.
what is the normal session? Like an hour?
Yeah, it's an hour.
A full hour, right?
Full hour.
Not like a massage guy, an hour.
Not 50 minutes. No,
gives you
full
40
hour.
minutes.
No, full hour. Yep.
Now,
and then
how
they can
is-
do an hour and a half too.
So let me ask you. So you're in a very healthy relationship now?
Yes.
John is?
Yes. Yeah.
He's healthy. He's
yeah.
loving.
He's sober. He's amazing. He's great.
I heard good things, just so you know.
Yeah, he can hear me when I talk. He listens.
But you're a complicated woman now, no?
I think I was probably more complicated when I was younger. I'm pretty simple. I wake up, I work out, I work, we make dinner,
Okay.
we watch TV, we laugh, we go to sleep.
All the kids are out of the house?
All the kids are out. We live at Boca West, so he plays golf nonstop.
Oh, he's a golfer.
He's a
okay.
big golfer.
That's his new addiction.
That's his new thing.
Good for him.
He loves it. And yeah, I mean, listen, marriage is never perfect, but we're in a beautiful place now.
It's so great.
It's really nice.
And now you're building a presence on social media.
Yeah, now I'm building a presence on
So
social
your voice
media.
now can really be heard and amplified.
It can.
You know what?
It can.
There's so much nonsense that goes sort of viral.
Yeah,
So much nonsense out there.
I know.
And your message is so important, I think.
Thank you. Yeah.
I mean, thank you, really. I think that women need to hear this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we need a man to talk to other men
Yes.
as well. I'm going to say this to you.
Perfect.
Because
I
I
agree.
feel like, I read your book and I'm like, we're not represented.
Yeah,
But this book was written by you, for you, and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's a book I wish I had when I was young.
Do you?
I wish somebody said to me, here's what you're going through. This is what you're experiencing.
Really?
Yeah. But then this whole process wouldn't have happened. But I wrote it with that in mind.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
He pressured you to have kids. This is a whole new, this opens up a whole new world to me with you.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, of course.
I can't help it because I read his book. But it was a long time ago. I enjoyed it. It was
it's
fun.
a good book, yeah.
I saw the movie a bunch of times just because I'm that kind of guy. It's
Yeah.
on. I put it on. I don't change the channel. I find it funny.
Yes, very
and
funny.
interesting. Making the speech. This one didn't make the speech. This was
Yes.
Elliot. This was
That's right.
What's his name? Stitsky. Or
Stitsky, yes.
This one, that one. But it's an interesting representation of what sort of we went through in the Wall Street
That's right.
arena. I went through similar stuff, a little different here, a little different there, but similar.
Yes.
And I'm just trying to deposit the whole thing. When I was there that night, your beauty was very evident. I understand right away he was on the big come up.
Yeah.
And he wanted what he wanted, and he saw you when he wanted it.
Right.
And then you went to this courtship where you were just swept up.
Yeah.
You probably didn't know the difference between lust, love.
Yes, of course.
All the different things coming at
Yes.
you. How do you process that as
Yeah.
a 23-year-old,
You
24-year-old?
can't.
You can't. Millions of dollars and bright lights and limos and
You can't.
Chanel and Prada
Yes.
and Mez. I mean, everything you want in
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
Private jets, yachts, cooks,
Yep.
and then the drugs. That was always in his life, but it got worse.
It got worse.
Yeah, it's
like
a progressive
drugs.
disease.
It is. Yeah.
And so I'm trying to walk myself through this thing, and then so I get all this stuff, and you're making a life together, and he wants more. He always wants more. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
Now he wants you. He wants to put that ankle monitor on you. He wants to own you, control you. He wants you to have his babies.
Yep.
That's the part which I find. So I'm thinking in my mind, you're loving this, now you want him. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I did. I just wasn't.
But you understand the point? Like
Of
I'm saying,
course,
you
like-
want to make sure that you want marriage and you want.
No,
you wanna
that
lock
was
this
not.
up.
That was not my. No.
But you understand.
Yeah, that would. It would seem
From an outside point
obvious
of view.
or logical, but no, that wasn't the way it went at all.
So interesting to me,
Yeah, yeah.
because so it sheds new light on his. He really was sick. I mean, to me, that's more sick.
Yeah. Well, that's that coercion, right? That's
Yeah,
that
yeah.
pressure. That's that need for control.
I was very comfortable, not even getting married, engaged, not having
Yeah.
babies. But she comes from a traditional family, and the father and I took a walk, and he goes, "You're killing me." I said, "What are you talking about? I love you, Carmine." His name was Carmine.
He
I said, "I love you."
It's time to marry
He
her.
said, all my friends are saying, what's going on with Stephanie and this older guy?
Yeah.
You're her boss. She worked for me. That's how I met her.
Yeah, of course, you had the power.
Right. And but she had like a power over me.
Yeah.
If she says jump, I'm jumping.
Right.
To me, that was like, what?
Yeah.
But I was sober when I met her.
Which makes a big difference.
A huge difference.
Yeah, yeah.
And after taking the walk with him around the track, it was killing him. I said, you know what? He says, just give him a ring, get engaged. He goes, don't get married, just get engaged. I said, all right. So I went out, I bought a beautiful ring, and I couldn't find the right moment to propose. I was very nervous about it. And when I flew to California, took her to California. She'd never been to California. She wanted to go to like Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
And the whole thing.
Yeah.
The whole experience. So I was following a bodybuilding. I represented money for the Weeder family, all these guys. Whenever I found something I wanted, I would just get in there with my cold coin skills, my ability, and
get in there.
and I'd get their money. And then I
Yeah.
would sit in front of the judges. They would say, "Who are you?" That's Joe's guy. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
I flew out to California. We went to this bodybuilding show. And the idea was, because I've been to Cal many times, hung out there a lot, and
Yeah.
friends there and all that, Beverly Hills, Malibu, et cetera. And we're driving up, the plan was to drive up. I took a cottage at the Beverly Hills Hotel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, beautiful.
And a cabana and all that. And the idea was to have dinner and
And propose.
what's the restaurant? And
The Polo Club.
The top restaurants. And
Okay.
I booked all the top restaurants. I got the best tables. George Hamilton complained because I got the best table in the restaurant. And then I told him I just got engaged. He was okay, and they bought us drinks. It was very funny. But on the way up to the Beverly Hills Hotel, I pulled over the side of the road. My idea was to propose because I knew a beautiful spot. But she just kept irritating me.
Oh, no.
And so finally, I just pulled over the car. I said, "Would you please get out for a minute? I want to show you something." It's where they filmed Baywatch, that little private beach.
Yeah, yeah.
She goes, "No, I don't want to get out. You get out." I said, "Steph, I want to show you something. Come on, it's important to me." No, I'm not going. And we had like our fight. And I said, well, I want you to fucking marry me. That's what I want. She goes, yeah, big shot. If you're going to ask me to marry you, should get me a ring.
Oh, and you had it.
And I had it safety pinned into my little pocket here. And I'm trying to get, I said, I got you a ring. Yeah. It was like that.
Yeah.
Contentious. Then I finally took the ring out. I said, yeah, you want me to get out? She goes, and she's like, it was a beautiful thing.
Yes.
But I really did that because, like, it made sense. Like, I loved her, and I saw from their point of view, and I was able to sort of calibrate this and process it.
Right.
And it felt like the right thing to do.
Okay.
So you didn't have that opportunity.
No.
I get it.
Yeah. No, it was different.
Yeah. I felt a little pressure. I felt pressure,
Yeah.
but I didn't feel it was wrong.
Yeah. I felt
Like on this, you.
I think I felt a little more pressure.
I understand, when a guy like him
Yeah.
wants to get something from you.
Then you get.
He's already got you already.
Yep. But I, listen.
He squeezed.
He knew. Yep. And it all worked out because we have two beautiful children. So.
Right. And you're sitting here and you have John playing golf
Yeah,
at home.
and I'm a doctor and I'm helping
all
women.
These amazing things.
So it all worked out. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah, it's really okay.
But it was a lot of work in between.
Yeah, but you want to know what the message is. Doesn't matter what you're going through. You can survive it.
You can survive. That's
you
right.
can survive it, and you can thrive it.
That's right. You can
become a
survive it.
thriver. You
That's
guys
right.
understand this? It's in your hands. The ball's in your court. She's right here. Okay? The last time I saw her, she was 22. And she was on a date. Well, not really a date, a setup.
It was a setup.
She didn't even know. With the married Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street. And you got her right here. Run like hell to her. To her. Plan your life. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay? It's your life. Take control of your life. Take control of the outcome. You can be a doctor. Look at this. You can look like Nadine. You'd have an amazing life. Raise 5 kids. A man that you love that loves you.
Yeah.
Okay? There's no excuse. You can reach her. Okay? How do we reach you?
So go to Instagram, The Real Dr. Nadine.
Instagram, The Real Dr. Nadine.
Yep.
I'm not even sure if I follow you. I'm not even sure.
Oh, well, you better.
It's outrageous.
And then
vice versa.
I think I do.
It's good.
And then
The Real Nadine.
The Real Dr. Nadine. But
The Real Dr. Nadine.
Yeah, but you can also go to my website, drnae.com. Go there. Take the trauma bond assessment. Take the pathological lover assessment. I have free meditations. I have tons of free resources.
Free resources.
So
Get in
go.
there. Say it again.
DrNae, Nae.com.
How do you spell DR or is it Dr.
DrNae.com.
No period, right? Just DRNAE.
That's right.
Okay. Capital or lowercase?
All lowercase.
All right. Let's talk Instagram one more time.
The Real Dr. Nadine.
The Real DR.
Nadine.
Nadine.
Yep.
Nadine.
And I post every single day. I have the greatest Instagram.
The greatest.
Oh, it's so fun. The women love it. They're like, Dr.
greatest.
Nae, Dr. Nae, you help me so much. You validate me. You make me not feel crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
It's worth it because you're doing great things.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to thank you for coming today.
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
appreciated.
Yes, this was
Run
so
like
fun.
hell
Blast from the past.
to the real Nadine.
Thank you.
I unfortunately, I take credit for that introduction.
Yes.
If I didn't let Ginger use the limo that night, you might not have met Jordan.
That's right. That's true.
So it's all fucking my fault.
No, that's okay.
But, I feel entitled. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so
You're
much
amazing.
for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.